All right, welcome to this week's DMJoin training. I'm so super excited, you guys, because I've got another fabulous training to do for you guys, and that is how to build a great sales page. Now, we've all seen a bunch of sales pages, and we all kind of have an idea of what a good page is and what a bad page is. A good page is talking about your product. A bad page is not really talking about the product very much, and worse yet, not even putting the pricing on there. So you have no clue how that thing is that you don't even know anything about, how much that thing is going to cost. So we're going to go through all of the things that we need to have on our sales page, and I'm going to kind of show you a little bit of how Cheetah works and how you can pull these things in really, really fast and create a super fast sales page in just a matter of a few minutes. So let's go ahead and jump in and get started. So I'm going to jump into my PowerPoint presentation. So I'm going to go ahead and share. And I'm going to open up PowerPoint. And here we go. I know this is amazing. It is how to build an amazing sales page with Shelly, Builderall Diva Turner. So now that you know that, we'll move on. So let's first start out by talking about what is a sales page. Now, this is actually interesting because, believe it or not, a lot of people don't understand what a sales page actually is. But a sales page is just very, very simply a page that's specifically designed to sell something. Whether it's a physical product, whether it's a digital product, it doesn't matter. If it's selling something, then that's a sales page. And typically, when we put a sales page together, we are also making sure we don't have a lot of ways, if any, for that person to get off of that sales page. The only way that they can get off of that sales page is if they close that sales page or they buy something. Okay, so that's typically how sales pages work. It's usually a single page. There's no menu to get them out, so no navigation out. And the one thing we want them to do is click that buy now button so they can buy that product. Okay, so that's what a sales page is. And we're talking about a page on your website. And you can have many, many sales pages. You're not restricted to just one sales page on a website. In fact, when we start building funnels together in our future DMJoin trainings, we're going to figure out how to build funnels. And you're going to find out that all a funnel is a bunch of sales pages kind of lined up together so that you get them to go from one sales page to the next sales page to the next sales page. And remember that idea of no navigation, right? We don't have menus. We don't have ways for them to get out of those pages. So we're building a path by using our sales pages to take them exactly where we want them to go in that funnel. So the first step in learning how to build a funnel is learning how to build a sales page. And then after that, we can learn how to connect those sales pages and create a funnel with upsells, downsells, and all that cool stuff. So this is the first step of mastering a sales funnel. So let's talk about what makes a good sales page. We've got a lot of pieces and parts to a sales page, and we want to make sure that all of those parts are there in some form or fashion. So the first thing that you need to have is a compelling headline. And that headline needs to be pretty big. That's usually the one that is the H1 or header 1. And you need a header 1 somewhere on your page so you can actually Google rank. So that's what it usually is an H1 type of text. And you want to make sure that this headline encourages visitors to read more, that it focuses on what your customers are going to get, and it makes bold and true promises, not bold and false promises, but bold and true promises. And we're going to go through some examples in a few minutes of what a compelling headline might look like. Then you also want to make a fascinating lead. So when we talk about the lead, this is like the subheadline and the information that is from the headline flowing down into what's below the headline. And you want to make sure that in that area, that first fold, you've got the most important thing that the customers need to know about your product or your service. You need to be able to get their attention, and you need to actually hit a pain point. You guys have probably heard this before about pain points, making sure you're hitting those pain points. And all you're doing is figuring out what the customer needs that they're not getting that you can provide. And it's a pain point because it pains them to not have it. But with you giving it to them, it releases or reduces that pain. So you're trying to figure out, what are you giving to the customer that reduces one of their pain points? And you need to get that into that first fold somewhere so that they can see it quick and they're compelled to keep reading and find out all about your product. And then you need to have benefit-driven subheadings. So the customer needs to know what the offer is, and then wow them with the benefits of your product. And they need to know the benefits also beyond just what your product does. So if you've got a product that, let's say you've got a physical product that is how to grind up peanuts to make peanut butter. Well, if you had to do that by hand, that would be really difficult. But if you've got a grinder that can grind up those peanuts and help you make peanut butter, the actual product does the grinding. But the benefit is you don't have to spend so long doing it. So you have to think outside of the exact thing that your product does and think of what else, what are the benefits for the customer beyond just the actual thing that that product does. And you want to make sure you're appealing to what your customer wants. So there's also a really strong importance of images and video inside of your sales pages. So one of the things that we have in Builderall, if you're on the free website plan, you can actually upgrade and get something that we call the photo studio, the mock-up studio, the design studio. We have a lot of different apps in our tools, but one of them is mock-ups. And we can actually do mock-ups on just about anything that you want to do a mock-up on. So if you look on the right-hand side, you can see an image of a computer, and it's got this blue area on it. That's called a mask. And on this book, it's got the blue area on it. And then on this little tag, this little lanyard, it's got the blue area on it. These are mock-ups. That means that in that blue area, I can take any picture I want to and actually put it into that picture of the computer, picture on the book, or picture on the lanyard. Those are mock-ups. Now the value in this is that it actually lends credibility to your product or your service. So imagine if you've got a book and you just have a flat image like they do on Amazon, right? That flat image. And then imagine a picture of your book, but it's actually in like a 3D format, right? So it's kind of in this type of format here, whether it's standing up or a little bit sideways. We have a bunch of different designs in our mock-up studio. So you can imagine the difference if you've got a flat image of a book and then that 3D image of a book. It just is way more professional with that 3D image. And Builderall gives you the capability of actually doing that 3D image in that mock-up studio. We also have the CDs, so you can mock up CDs. We've got just all kinds of neat things that you can do with mock-ups to be able to improve the quality of the images that you're putting up on your website. Also, if you ever put an image that has a computer like this, then you definitely take a screenshot of your website and put it into that computer, because again, that gives you a level of credibility with that customer when they actually see that computer with your website on it. Plus, it creates a consistency of design. So they're seeing your website, and then, oh wait, there's a computer with the website on it. Cool, right? So it's important that you use these mock-ups in your websites to kind of solidify your company, your business, your brand, and you're using those images to further reinforce your product and your brand. So that's what screenshots tools can help you do. So there's several that I use. There's one called FireShot that is actually really good. That's a Google Chrome extension, and that allows you to take screenshots of your website, either a small area or even the whole screen. So that's called FireShot. And then if you have a Mac or a PC, there's native screenshot tools as well. I'm on a PC, so I think the PC version for Windows is called Clipping Tool. And that's one that everybody has if you have Windows 10. And it's on your list in your control panel that you can activate it and even add it to your little toolbar at the bottom of your screen so that you can activate it quick and take screenshots really quick. So those screenshots you can then save as images and add them to these mock-ups to give more credibility to your website, look more professional. And then videos, you definitely want to add some videos in there if you want to explain your product or explain your company, or just create a relationship with that visitor that's coming to your website. And there's a couple different types that you can do. There's the talking head video, which is where it's just your talking head, where you're talking about your company or your product. You can do a screen share. So if it's something like software or an ebook or something like that, you can screen share and show images or video, or you can do a combination of both. And for me, my favorite tool to do that is actually something called Screencast-O-Matic. Screencast-O-Matic is a very inexpensive way to either take talking head videos or take screencasting videos where you're shooting exactly what's happening on the screen, or you can do both where you're screencasting, but it's also got an image of you down at the bottom of the screen, usually the bottom right-hand side. So Screencast-O-Matic is a great tool for you to be able to do that. And then, of course, in every single video that you create, if you put it up on your website, you want an intro on that video, you want an outro on that video, and a call to action on that video. So at the very end of the video, your outro may be something as simple as, now don't forget to click the orange button below this video to buy this product, or to sign up for this coaching program, or whatever it is. So you want to make sure intro, outro, and call to action to make the video effective. And then the other thing is a share image. If you guys have a website that you're getting out there and you're sharing it on social media, if you type in the address of that website, it pulls in an image. That image is the share image. So you want to make sure that you have a really good share image, because it's going to pull it in and it's going to be representative of you along with whatever you type on that social media post. So you want to make sure you're paying special attention to your share image, because that's going to have another huge impact on what people see before they get to your sales page. The other thing that we need to do is make sure that we convince the visitors that are coming into your website that they need to take action and they need to take it now. So you need to have a clear call to action. Typically with this is some kind of button that's a contrasting color. So let's say that you chose your colors for your website as red and black. Well, it wouldn't do good to have a red button or a black button, because all of the rest of your website is red and black. So typically with the call to action, it's going to be a different color that contrasts the red and black. So I don't know, maybe a yellow or an orange or something like that, that is just like, wow, okay, I see that button right there that says click now, or I see that button that says buy now. It's just a pop out at you button that nowhere else really on that page you use, so that it is just for the buttons, the call to action buttons. You also want to make sure that when you have your call to action, you also have somewhere on the website clear wording about what the product is with pricing. I bet there's some of you guys that have been to websites and looked at products, whether it's a physical product or a digital product or coaching or something like that, and you're scrolling up and down the entire page trying to find where the pricing is. That ticks me off big time. I do not want to even click a buy now button without knowing what the price is. So make sure you put somewhere in there where the pricing is, so the person that's buying that product actually knows. And then the call to action actually should be a bit pushy. Now, in real day, everyday terms, I wouldn't walk up to someone like Paul and say, Paul, buy now. Because Paul would go, no, you're too pushy. But when we're talking about a website, it's a little different. You want those buttons to be a little pushy. You want them to say, buy now, sign up now, don't miss your chance, limited offer, something that is just a little bit pushy, maybe even introducing a little bit of scarcity, so that it stimulates them to decide, oh, I need to buy now. If you guys remember back about maybe 20-ish years ago, they had a advertisement on TV, just a quick commercial that said, call 1-800-COLLECT. And like every 2 seconds in that commercial, they'd say, call 1-800-COLLECT. And then they'd say, do something else and call 1-800-COLLECT. Call 1-800-COLLECT. And then my son, who is really too young to be dialing on the phone, he just goes over to the phone one day and starts dialing. I'm like, Alan, what are you doing? I'm calling 1-800-COLLECT. And these buttons should be the same way. It shouldn't be that you scroll down 10 miles of page and then there's one button that says buy now. You can actually do sections and then a button that says buy now. And then maybe another section or two and then a button, buy now. Don't make them all the way down the page to find that buy now button, right? Get it in there often, and make it a little pushy. Make it say buy now, get it now, purchase now, limited offer, whatever you think fits with the product that you're selling. Also make sure that there's a guarantee in there. That gives credibility, it gives trust. So you want to make sure that there's some type of guarantee, whether it's a 7-day guarantee, 30-day, 60-day, it doesn't matter. It can even be a 24-hour guarantee. But if those customers see that they have a way out if they've made a bad decision, then that's actually a good thing. So that creates trust. They may never take advantage of it, but it just kind of eases their mind when they see that they've got a guarantee in there. That actually further creates that relationship between the customer and you, because it's basically you saying, I understand that we buy things sometimes and we want to back out of it, so I'm giving you a way to back out. Even though they may never do that, you're creating that trust value. You also want to make sure that somewhere in there it's satisfaction guaranteed. And if you can possibly put in there the wording like money back, no questions asked. I actually love those offers. That one thing makes a huge difference to me, especially in buying digital products. Physical products is harder because you know that there's shipping involved and stuff like that. But when we're talking about digital products, that money back, no questions asked, satisfaction guaranteed, if I see all three of those things, I have so much more comfort in buying. How many of you guys have ever bought something and that wording wasn't on there except for maybe money back guarantee, and then you try to get your money back because it's a crappy product, and they're like, well, you didn't hold your tongue this way, and you didn't cross your eyes, and you didn't dot your T, and you didn't do this, so you know that's against our terms, so you can't get your money back. So you want to make sure that as you're developing the trust with your customer, that you can put those things in there and further that trust along so they can make that decision to buy now. And then a lot of times when we're creating a sales page, we have a sign off. So if there's sometimes a sales letter. If you're doing a sales letter style sales page, there's a lot of text where you tell a story and you tell about you and your product and whatever. And at the end, you can actually put your signature. It doesn't even have to be your real signature. Get somebody down the road to write it for you so it's not your real signature. But when you put your real signature on there, it somehow, again, creates a level of trust. That's a really strange, I guess, psychological thing. So it increases the relationship, even though that customer may not really know you yet. They're getting to know you because you're willing to tell a story and put your signature on there. And it also creates a level of trust. So then you got to make the decision for this person as easy as possible. So not only do you give them all the other things that we've talked about, but we want to also put in some testimonials if you've got testimonials. That's going to create a great environment where they're going to be trusting you more and more because people were willing to take the time out to write you a testimonial or shoot you a video or something like that. So these might be people that are saying, you know, thank you, Daryl, for such a great product and such a great company and the great support that you provided. I just wanted to thank you for this, for everything that you've done. That's a good testimonial, right? They didn't go into a lot of details. They just said thank you. Someone that used the product. Let's see, Paul, I used your product. It was absolutely fabulous. I just wanted to take a moment to say that anyone that is on the fence about this product, you need to buy it now because it's going to change your life, right? That's a great testimonial. So someone that's used the product. And then if you don't have any testimonials because there's nobody yet to tell you thank you, there's nobody yet that's used your product, well, now it's time to go find some beta testers and say, hey, I'm going to give this to you for free, but in return, I want a review. So you give them a limited time access to your product, or if you're sending a physical product, then I would definitely maybe take a deposit on a credit card or something like that, just something so you can make sure that you're getting a testimonial back. And get those testimonials that way, get some beta testers, and get them testing and get those results back so you can put some testimonials on there. Also, a great way to create trust and help them decide to buy something is add some stats to your website. So how many sales have you had? With Builderall, we can say we've got 40,000 users. That's huge. When people look at Builderall and they hear that Builderall has 40,000 users, that gives Builderall credibility. It's like, well, if 40,000 people have joined Builderall, I can join Builderall, right? So you can say how many users, how many people, how many units have you sold. There's a lot of ways you can grab some stats and put them on there. You can do some satisfaction surveys so that when you do sell your product, you have them fill out a survey and you take those results and put those into your website. So you can say something like, would you recommend this product to someone that you know? If 95% of those answers are yes, you need to put that on your website. That's a great stat to have on there. And then any awards that you've gotten. So if you've ever gotten an award for your product, your service, that's a great thing to put on there. And then even showing your, if you've ever been featured anywhere, like featured in a magazine, featured on a podcast, featured in a blog, those are all things that are considered really valuable to the person that's looking at your company and looking at spending money with you. They need to trust you. So if they see these things, they'll start to trust you. And then you can always actually share your story as well. I love those sections in websites that actually say, this is how we got started. I'm a huge comic book fan. And one of my favorite versions of comic books is when I see the origin stories. Where did they come from? How did they get this superpower? And to me, it's the same way on a sales page. How did this company become a company? How did they develop their idea? How did it start? So these origin stories that they put on the websites, on their sales pages, I absolutely love them because, again, it just kind of creates that relationship with the visitor. And they feel a connection, and they want to be a part of it. So buying your product is a way that they can be a part of that. So then a freebie. This is traffic. So this is a little bit beyond the sales page. Once you get the sales page done, is it really true if you build it, they will come? And that's not true. I've built a whole lot of websites that there ain't nobody that's seen that website. So you have to drive traffic. That's the next kind of $50 million question is how on earth do you do traffic? So one of the ways that you can do traffic is ads. And you can do Facebook ads, Instagram ads, you can do solo ads, YouTube ads, Google AdWords. I mean, there's like a bazillion places out there that you can do ads. Another thing you can do is go into Facebook groups that are big groups. Like I have a 13,000 person group. Find those groups, talk to the owners and say, hey, can I pay for your pin post for the month? Can I pay you $50 for the pin post for the month? And create a pin post for that group that advertises your product or service. $50 a month, you guys. That's like sneeze money for ads. You should be able to spit out $50 for ads pretty quick. And that would be a great way to get you out front in ads. But the most important thing when you're advertising is to make sure that your ads are relevant to the market that you are advertising in. So if you're advertising website design, then it needs to be in there somewhere where that would be, website design would be relevant. So it would not be in a singles group looking to hook up with another single. Right? And I'm looking for a 6 foot tall sailor that is sexy and hot. Oh wait, here's a website design ad. That probably is not going to go. So you want to make sure that your ads are relevant where you are putting them. So if you're advertising dog training, then find those Facebook groups and stuff like that where that makes sense. That if you're advertising dog training, the people that are there are going to be interested in dog training. And let me tell you, in the niche of dog training, there are a bazillion Facebook groups. In fact, I have a lot. I have a dog that's a Yorkie Poo. His name is Scrappy. And I have a Facebook group that I'm not sure how many it has in it. I'm sure we're up to a couple thousand now. And that's just a simple Facebook group about Yorkie poos. So they'd be very interested in dog training, right? If you have a dog training ebook, dog training videos, that would be a great place. You could contact the owner of a Yorkie poo group, a Pika poo group. There's lots of dog groups out there. And you could say, hey, can I pay for your pin post for a month? And a lot of these, I think, would probably go for 20 bucks a month. And you could have that pin post for an entire month. So check those out. Those are a great way to get traffic. You need to make sure that, you need to make sure.
I had a question, if that's okay.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Tracy.
I apologize. I have to have the other plan, the $69 plan, in order to be able to advertise and
Well, I'll actually talk about that in a little bit, but I'll talk about the different plans. But if you're building a website and you're advertising for that website on Facebook, you don't have to upgrade to be able to advertise the website.
I built it for a different program, but I'm trying to do the affiliate sales with you guys.
Oh,
and
okay.
it's just that I have different programs that I work with.
Oh yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. Let me scooch through this part of it and show a couple things on Cheetah on how we can work with their sales page. And I want you to save that, Tracy, for when I'm done with all of that. We'll talk about it a little bit more because I think that I have some things that I can share with you that'll probably help you a lot. Okay.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. So when we talk about Facebook ads or YouTube ads or anything like that, you also want to make sure that it aligns to your audience. So if you are talking about, I don't know, songs, it would probably be a good idea to sell those to women, but probably not men, unless they were actually buying for their women. But married versus single, speaks English versus speaks Italian. So you want to make sure that you're watching who your audience is as well and advertising to the right people. And aligning to your audience is one of the biggest challenges in Facebook ads because Facebook ads has targeting. So when you go through that process of developing your ads for Facebook, you can actually choose who you're going to target. So you need to make sure that you're thinking all the time about who is my target audience, who's going to buy this product. And that goes back to making sure you're watching who's buying your products, making sure you're watching who's giving you those testimonials. Is it mostly men, mostly women? What age group are they? Are they married? Are they single? Do they have kids? Do they own a home? Do they have a job? All those things are important things for you to know about your avatar so that when it's time to do advertising, you know kind of where to target. And that's really important because you want your advertising dollars to go as far as possible. And there's always organic methods too. So I'd like to tell everybody, if you're looking for traffic, there's two ways you're going to get it. You're going to get it by paying money or you're going to get it by paying time, right? And that would be the organic method. And then, of course, there's a conglomeration of both. Sometimes you spend money and time. But traffic is like, I guess, the single biggest challenge after you've built the website is getting the traffic. You want to make sure when you are getting the traffic that you are pinpointing in your ads the best benefit that your people are going to get from your product. Put the best out there first. So if it cures cancer, that's like first. You can imagine if we find a cure for cancer, and the thing that they put out there is it will make your urine turn blue. that would probably not be the right thing to put first. The right thing to put first would be it cures cancer. So put the best thing about your product out there in the ads so that they can see that and hopefully get drawn into your sales page. And what pain point does it fix for sure. And then quality images for your ads are super duper important. And this is something that we're dealing with right now in Builderall. We're getting some ads ready to go out and we are really working through design to make sure that we are hitting every single design aspect we can to make sure that the images have the impact we want them to have. And sometimes simple is really good. Just a picture with an ocean and then good copy will get it there. And then sometimes it's a complicated image. It just depends on what your product is and how you want to convey the branding of that product. So let's take a look at some examples of some sales pages, some things that were good about them and some things that were not so good about them. So the first one is live off your passion. And the link is there. So if you want to look at these, you absolutely can. We're going to talk about some of the things that they did right and some of the things that they didn't do so right. So let me check this out here. We'll go to the page. And I think it's right here is the page. So what I really like about this page first is there's so much consistency in the design. So I absolutely love the colors, the design, the flow. I love that he's got a video there and it looks very inviting and friendly. And then the area up here, live off your passion, a step-by-step guide to finding and doing work you love, guaranteed. I would probably make that little sub headline a little bit bigger so you could see it better, because that is actually a really good sub headline, and the visitor needs to see that a little bit better. And then down here, we've got just another little sub headline and then a button, right? And I want you to notice the button. Of all of the designs, it looks like there's browns and yellows and stuff like that, but the button color was reserved as orange. That's great, because that's going to jump out at you as something different and contrasting than the rest of the website. So it pulls their eyes over to that button quickly. And then he's got a great blurb on there, join 3,000 members doing work they love. That's a great little blurb on there. Really, really like it. Some more stuff that's on there. I love the any of these sound familiar. So it's asking you a question so that you can answer that in your brain. And it says, these are all pain points, right? With all of the interests I have, will I be working on the right one? That's a pain point. Will doing the work I love still be able to support me and my family? That's a pain point. So he's talking about answering all of these with his program. So if you read all of these and you say, yeah, those are all things that I worry about, well, he's already stimulating you to want to be involved in this particular product, because you can relate to all of these things. And then there's a button again. It's a little bit different. It just says, come join us, very inviting, but it's reserved for that orange color. So we know that that's the button we need to click to be able to get involved. And then he's got some testimonials here. I love that he's got the images of the people. That is fantastic. You can put testimonials that don't have images, but the ones that have images are like always better. So he not only has the testimonials, but he has before and he has after. So I actually love that as well. We've got another testimonial, then we've got another little section with that button. So think about it, you guys. I don't have to scroll all the way down to the bottom to get to the button to be able to join. I've got it just about anywhere I want to go on the page. And then we've got a few more testimonials. If there's anything, I would say there might be a few too many testimonials on here. But he does have those buttons always available. So even though you're scrolling down quite a bit, you've always got the option to click over. Then he's got some other little things, including some images that are mock-ups. Now, I want you to notice the mock-ups. He's got a picture of his website right there. He's got a picture of him talking on like a Zoom. And he's got another image of his website right there. All of that is critical, you guys, because again, that lends credibility. I want you to think about it. If I scroll down and saw this picture, but it was just not anything specific on any website, I may not think, this guy's not credible. He didn't even create any mock-ups. It's just that it's more credible when I see the mock-ups with his site, his picture, his stuff in it, okay? Then I also love that he does this little checklist with all of the different features, because you want to have the features and benefits listed for your customer to see that. And he's got that listed right there, so I absolutely love it. And then another great one to throw in, if you can, is frequently asked questions. Those are great sections for new customers to really dig in and hopefully get their questions answered. And then, of course, the whole way, we've got that orange button. And I want you to notice consistently through the entire page, he's got that orange button. So they will subconsciously, every time they see the button, know that that's the button I'm going to click if I decide I want to join. Okay, so let's talk about some of the good things about this site and the bad things. Let me go here. And so things that I think went right, he did a short video to kind of give an overview of his service. I love the kind of talking head video that kind of personalizes it. He's got the copy where it says, any of these sound familiar? I love that because the person is answering that in their head when they're reading it. They're like, yeah, that does sound familiar. So they're thinking already about, oh, they need this. Then a strong guarantee. This guy, I think he had a 90-day guarantee. And again, that creates trust. He's got case studies along with the testimonials. We saw that before and after thing. He's got lots of testimonials. If that was the one thing I would change about the site, two things. Up in the subheader, I'd make that bigger, and then maybe not quite so many testimonials. I think that's the best ones. And then he's got a great call to action. That's that orange button. I love that you can scroll down and you get it again, and you get it again, and you get it again. And then things that are not so right. The only thing that I could identify besides bigger subheader and then not quite so many testimonials, and that would be that the copyright on the page was 2016. So if I was actually going to this website and looking at everything and I saw that that was the last time he edited this site, I might be a little worried buying the product, because I might be thinking, wow, this was 4 years ago. Is this product even still available yet? Okay. So I'm going to stop sharing for a second, and I'm going to come back to you guys, and I'm going to ask you, what do you think about that site? Did you think about anything that stood out to you, or something that you didn't like about the site? Any comments or thoughts about it? No? Okay, moving on. Let's check out another one. I'm going to do another example. So moving on to the next one. Let's see. This is My Copy Blogger. So this is my.copyblogger.com. Let's check this one out and see exactly what it looks like, and we'll talk about some of the good things and some of the bad things. So I'm going to jump back over. I think that's this one right here. So I've got My Copy Blogger. I've got a kind of a header right here. It's got the logo. But honestly, one of the things that jumps out at me is it says authority is advanced content marketing training. I have to think about that a minute, right? Authority is advanced content marketing training. So by thinking about it, I'm thinking, okay, I think what they're telling me is that if they give me advanced content marketing training, I will gain authority. So it takes a minute to even understand what they're doing. So that's one kind of snafu that I see right there. Another one is that this is long and small. I think they could probably shorten that and make it more effective. But then they've got a lot of content, right? Lot. If I keep scrolling down, lot content. And they're expecting the reader to read through all of that content. And I'm not sure that it would be easier to just maybe do maybe expandable areas, and if they want to read more, they can.
Or make a video.
I'm sorry, Squirrel, go ahead.
Or make a video.
Or make a video, exactly. That would make it better too, right? This is a lot of content for somebody to read and get all the information about. So I think they could, there's a lot of opportunities here to kind of tighten it up a little bit and not make it so much information to read and try to understand. And they're already really good at not explaining it very well anyway, so they need to shorten it up. But they do their colors and everything, but I want you to also notice that they've got these big sections. So instead of kind of doing a button, they've got like a big section, like, ooh, if I see this big section, okay, that's where I sign up. But I don't think that's as effective as maybe having a button and then maybe having a pop-up up here where they can sign up. I do like that they've got the orange button. That's contrast. That's a good thing.
A bouncing button would be even better.
Scroll, say it again. I'm sorry.
A bouncing button would be even
A
better.
bouncing, yeah, we're gonna see that in a minute actually. These areas right here, mute you, Squirrel, because there's some feedback. Okay, thank you. So there's some areas here where they've got some good, like a good start to kind of getting the information across simply to the visitor. But I think there's just so much text on here, and I don't see any mock-ups. I don't see any images. Remember we said images are important? This is a really good example of why images are important. Because if you've got this much content without images kind of conveying emotions and conveying trust, building a relationship, all those things, then the text is very cold, very distant, very disconnecting. And I think it's more difficult to create a connection. So let's talk about on PowerPoint. Oh, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
For me, it looks like a PDF in a website.
It does.
You know, only with content.
Right.
Nothing more interesting in it.
So do you feel like invited, comfortable, happy on visiting a website like that has so much text?
No, I was scared.
It's a lot of work, isn't it?
Yeah, it scared me actually. I would have just passed on.
Yep, I think I would have too, Tracy. I think that I feel like you do that. I don't have, as a professional especially, I don't have the time to read through all of that. But I can sure, like Squirrel said, click play on a video and get that same information if they can tell me about it.
While
Right?
it's scrolling even.
Yep, absolutely. So that's kind of my thoughts on it. Here's some things that I think went right on the site, and I'm going to mute you again, Squirrel, because it's feeding back really bad. So here's what I think went right. So they do have several call to actions, but I do think that could have been tightened up a bit because it was just a block, right? A big red block with the orange buttons. So I think they could have done better. They should have done maybe broken up the copy and put some images in there to make it more readable, more comfortable. And like Squirrel said, add video to kind of break it up a little bit, maybe explain some of that stuff that's all in text. Testimonials are important. Things that went not so right. The headline didn't, in my opinion, the headline did not convey what that site was doing. And then when you do testimonials without photos, they're not as effective. So if you remember, let me go back to the site so you can see the testimonials, because I want you to see what I was meaning by that. So if I scroll down and get to the testimonials area, here's the testimonial. And it's text like everywhere else on this page, it's text. And there's no image, there's no picture of the person that gave the testimonial. So to me, this is a very impersonal website that doesn't work hard to establish any kind of relationship with the visitor. So I'm going to open it up and let you guys tell me what you think about it. Any other input on that sales page?
As far as do I sound better? Am I still echoing?
Yeah, you're doing great.
Like you said, with the it was like you said, it was just not very personal. It didn't have any exclamation points, and that's how I try to design my website, with less periods and as many exclamation points as possible. A bouncing button is.
I think there's too the opportunity to shorten up some of that text and make it shorter, bullet points. Video would be fabulous. Images would definitely be fabulous. Just to kind of warm up that site a little bit and make it more inviting for somebody, because I'm like Tracy. I came to that website and I'm like, I am so not reading all that. I'm just not going to read.
But there was a lot of information. Like, you know, I'm an information person. So the fact that there's a lot of information is at least something, you know?
Yeah. And Shanika's made a really good point. Copy Blogger is aimed towards writers and copywriters. So they don't need images. They're targeted to writers of the web. That's why they have a new following. I agree. It is copywriters. They are writers. So they don't need a whole lot of copywriting. But I think there's still even a disconnect at the very top where you're trying to figure out what is this website? What are they offering me? As a person that's visiting this page, what are they offering me? And that blurb that I saw was not really explanatory of what Copyblogger can give me. But Shanika makes a really good point. It's not for the beginner or somebody who's inexperienced in copywriting. So they may be the very people that are going, oh, yay, a whole page that I could read on everything about copywriting and Copyblogger. For me, it was not attractive. The only thing that I really liked about it was when they did the numbers, that was spaced out well and pretty, but honestly, I would have closed it up in something that was collapsible so they could expand and collapse it or something like that, instead of being so long down the page and just so much content on the page. That's me. One thing you'll find is opinions on sales pages are wide and varied, right? So Skrill says he really likes the exclamation points. I try actually to stay away from too many because I don't want everything I say to be really excited. You know, I'm really excited about this and I can't wait for you to do that.
I mean, like the buttons.
Like the buttons, right?
The buttons need exclamation points, not every sentence.
That's true. That's true. All right, so let's jump into one more example that I'm going to give you, and I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and we will jump into PowerPoint. PowerPoint, it's the slides, and we'll do one more, and that is Renegade Strong. This is a muscle building workout website. And they actually did some really interesting things on the website that I wanted to point out to you. So let's jump into that one and take a look. So let me flip the screen over. There we go. And this is actually great. And I think Skrill might have been the one that jumped in and said maybe a button that's a little bouncy. There's a button that's a little bouncy. So you hover over it and it bounces for you. There's a couple of things that I really love about the site. So first of all, the images are actually really good. So it's broken up all throughout the website with images to reinforce that this is a muscle building type of website. Another thing that I really like is their credibility up here at the very top. So as featured in or on Men's Fitness, Men's Health, Muscle Fitness, ESPN, Details, Fast Company, CBS, Maximum Fitness. That gives them credibility, so you want to definitely use that if you've got it. But then I love this line: the smartest way to get jacked, strong, and lean. So they're like straight to the point. It's like, here's the way to do it. If you're smart, you're going to do it this way. And then they've got a great subheadline and then information, and there's that call to action button right there. And again, it's a little pushy, right? Claim your free trial. But for the new person that is coming to the site and taking a look, they're like, yeah, I'm going to claim my free trial. And then they've got sections where they've got bullet points talking about the pain points that these people have to deal with, and then the benefits that you get from Renegade Strong. They've got the about me information. There's that signature. I know that it sounds strange, but the signature really does play a role if you can slide it in there without being cheesy. It plays a role in kind of connecting with that audience because they can see the images, they see the signature. It just is another layer of trust that happens on the sales page. And then we've got some benefits right here that the company can give you. And then, of course, another button. We've got testimonials, but these are image testimonials, which is great. So they've got some great ones on here. I love the hover over effect where it goes from black and white to color. That's fantastic. And then some here that, of course, they don't have an image of the person, but I think they did break it apart well to put the stars right there and then put a little bit of color on the testimonial to kind of make it a little bit easy to look at. And then, of course, that red, which is reserved for that button. And scroll down, they've got an image with a mock-up. So that qualifies as an important item to be on the website. And then some more bullet points on the benefits. And then some more images, mock-ups to show Facebook posts and stuff like that. And then that button. And then scrolling down, we've got another computer mock-up with Renegade Strong and the button. And then we've got another 3D image of a meal plan booklet. So you can actually see that in a 3D image. And remember, we talked about already that a flat image is okay, but a 3D image, especially for a book, is the best way you can do it. So that is the best choice to be able to put that on there like that. And then they give some more benefits of the program, some more testimonials of the program, some more images. It's great. And then they have the pricing, and I love that they've got that right there, the 60% off, their button again, and then the guarantee. Again, I definitely love the guarantee. And I love this. It says, try this program for 30 days. If you don't see awesome results and feel amazing, simply email us and we'll cancel your membership immediately. No hassle, no questions asked. To me, that's a valuable guarantee. No hassle is, we get so much hassle sometimes about this kind of stuff that when they say no hassle, it's like, oh, yay, I'm going to sign up with that just because they're not going to give me a hassle. And then frequently asked questions. These are always good if you have the ability to add those in. And then some more information with the button. And then, of course, the footer down at the bottom. So again, all the ingredients that we've been talking about, just about everyone are here. And they've actually done a really good job of setting it up. So let me go back to my PowerPoint. We'll talk about some of the things that I identified as good. So the headline takes advantage of our desire for quick results. It says the smartest way to get jacked, strong, and lean. There's a 30-day money-back guarantee, so it makes the customers comfortable. The authority badges at the top, so the Men's Fitness and ESPN and all that, those are authority badges. Those are really great. Bulleted copies in a couple different places of the website, so that's fabulous. We don't have to think too hard. They've shortened it up for us, which is great. Case studies are in there. There's also no navigation. That was important on all of the pages. No navigation, so they can't leave that page. The only way they're going to leave that page is if they either close it or they buy something. And we really want to make sure that we set up our sales pages that way. And then, and I wanted to see if you guys had any input, positive or negative, on this particular sales page. Fabio, any input on the pages? Squirrel, I think you're talking, and it looks like you're unmuted, but I think there's something going on with your microphone.
This one I like. I like
Tracy,
this one.
Tracy, go ahead. Tracy, go ahead.
I like this web page. That'd be kind of what I would normally put together. It still has a little bit too much content. It's not as fun to go through, but he had a lot of good points on there, you know, a little bit of motivating points.
Awesome. Very good. Awesome. I think you're right, Tracy. It does. You keep scrolling. It's like, oh my gosh, seriously, am I not done with this yet? But there's a lot of people that they say that a long sales page is important. And then there's me. I'm the conservative person. I'm like, can we just make it short? Let's not make it 5 miles long. And I'm sure there's a happy medium in there somewhere that is the exactly perfect thing to do. But it is up to you. It's your style, your personality. There's those of us that want all that content on there, and those of us that do not. So it really is.
Yeah, I run into that with my clients. The older my clients, the more content they want on their website. And I try to explain to them, I said, this is mostly your portfolio.
Yeah.
So we don't want to lose your customer.
Right. We don't want their eyes glazing over and then slipping into a coma.
Yes.
All right. Any other comments, you guys, or ideas about that page?
Tracy, can you hear me?
I can, yes. Is it Fair Estrada?
Yes, it's the first time, and I have been looking through your teachings that are great. Thank you very much for all. But first time I get to get inside with all of you. And,
awesome. We're so glad to have you.
Very glad to be here also, and I hope my English is understandable.
It's fabulous, because I'm sure whatever language you actually speak, I'm not any good at it.
Well, I am a Spanish speaker, a native Spanish speaker.
Awesome.
I am from Mexico.
Wow.
Well, to the point on this that you were telling about this last website that I really liked, and I think it was very targeted, and for the audience he was looking for, but maybe not a menu, as you said, not a menu that you can get people of the main objective of this page,
Right.
but maybe the anchor points, so that you don't have to scroll so much. If you are lazy to go over all the text,
Yep.
maybe you can get some little like menu, but anchors
Yes.
to the different sections of the one-page website.
I love that. That's a great idea, because especially when a website is that long, having the anchor points is just, for me, like a godsend, right? It's like, I just want to do the about us because I want to know about this company or something like that. But it's scroll. If you've got anchor points, that makes it so much easier on somebody like me, where I'm probably going to go to the website, take about a 2-second look, and know exactly where I want to go to see more about the company. So you're right. I think an anchor menu would be fabulous.
It's a great idea. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you, Scroll. Go ahead.
I was only going to say that the pictures made me feel slightly insecure. That's one negative. And I'm a big video guy. They could have had somebody like working out, like, yeah, this is how we do it. But aside from that, it looks pretty good.
That's awesome. Yeah, that is the possibility. You put some of that in there, like, wait a minute, I need to up my game a little bit, don't I?
Man, that was motivational. I had to log off and do some push-ups and come back.
That's true. Well, let's take a look, you guys, at some of the things that we can do inside of Cheetah to actually build these pages like super fast. Because we've talked about some of the things that we need inside of our sales page. And when we talk about those things, it's like, oh my gosh, seriously, looking at these pages, it's going to take me 10 years to make a page like that. When in reality, with Cheetah, we make it actually really, really easy. So let's take a look at Cheetah and what we can actually do with Cheetah. So first of all, let me go to the next page. And we're just going to talk about some of these sales page elements. So we're going to talk about an attention grabbing and punchy headline, a subheadline. We're going to talk about using great images and videos to work with, and even a share image, relatable text that shows the value in your product, case studies, stats, real life results. All of that sounds like a ton of stuff to do, but let's jump in and see if we can do some of those in Cheetah. So let me go ahead and jump into Cheetah with you guys. So I'm going to go to my Builderall dashboard, and I'm just going to go into my apps, and I'm going to go over here to Cheetah Builder. And I'm going to open that bad boy up, and we're going to take a look at how easy it is to pull these things in and actually get started with the website. So we'll let it pull up. It's working like really hard in the background. My little hamsters are running on those wheels really, really fast to make sure I have plenty of electricity to make sure it can open it up. And so it's still working and still working. There we go. Okay. So now we're in Cheetah. And I'm just going to go ahead and click create a new site. And for you guys that have the pictures on the right hand side, I'm going to be working with the right hand side menu, and it may be hidden by the pictures. So you can click and drag that to the bottom, and you can get that out of the way so you'll be able to see the menu inside of Cheetah. Okay. So I'm going to click create new site, and I'm going to call this DMJoin sales page. Perfect. And then I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to put it in the description. And then we've got a bunch of templates that we can pull from, but I'm actually going to start with a blank website. So I'm just going to click blank and then go to next. And what it's done is it's created the website and put it in the background for me. And there it is right there, DM sales page. So I'm going to go ahead and just click edit, and we're going to start editing that site. And I want you to notice that there's a little image holder right here. This is actually where I can put my shared image. Remember, we talked about a shared image before. The shared image can go right there. And then anytime I put the link to this page inside of social media, the image that I put here is what it will pull. So there's where you can put your share image, okay? To edit the page, I'm just going to click edit page. And now I'm inside this home page, and I can start working to build it. It's still loading. It's taking a little bit of time. So come on, Cheetah, you can do it. So I'm going to skip the tour, but this is a tour that you can click through that tells you a little bit about the Cheetah editor and the different areas in the Cheetah editor. I'm going to skip that for now. And the first thing that you need to do when you're in Cheetah is you need to add a panel to start building your website. So let's talk about the first panel that we should do, which is the one that has the headline and the subheadline, right? That's probably the most important panel, is that top panel in your website, making sure that you've got exactly what you need on that, what's called the first fold, that first area that's seen by the visitor. So I can actually pull in a pre-made panel to do that. So I'm going to click Add and then Panels. And we could pull in a blank panel, but I'm going to take a look at the first fold and see if I can find something that is a design that has the header, subheader, and looks and kind of feels similar to what I'm maybe looking for my website. So I'm going to click First Fold. And you can see that I've got several different designs here. And you can see I've got the header text there. I've got some subheader and even some third line of text that's smaller. So I can find something that kind of fits the style that I want to work with for the product or service that I have. So I'm just going to scroll down and look at a few of them. And there's a lot of them, a whole lot of them. So let's say that this is a design that we want to go with right here. So I'm going to go ahead and click that. And it's an interior design. So what I've got is kind of a darkish background. I've got some text right here, some bigger text here, little text here, and then my button. So inside of this, I have complete capability of changing the image that's in the background. I can change the colors of the text. Of course, I can change the content of the text. I can write whatever I want there. I have a lot of freedom to make changes. If I don't like that one, if I want to look at a different one, I just click on that panel, and there's a little mini toolbar here. I can just click goodbye, click delete, and that's fine. And Shazam, that one's gone. And then I can go back to add and back to my panels, and here's my first fold again. And I can take a look at some more of those first fold panels to see if I can find something that I really truly like. So here's another one that I think looks great. So I'm going to click on it. And I can see if that is the design that I'm looking for. So do I like the design of the text, the button, the image? I can change the image if I want to. I've got a lot of freedom to do whatever I want to with this. But this is kind of the skeleton of what I'm wanting to create with this particular website. So if I'm happy with that panel and I think I can work with that panel, then I need to find some more panels. So let's take a look at some other things that we can do. So I can click First Fold to collapse that area. And we've got business banners. So if I click there, they're actually similar to what the first fold would be. So I could take a look at these and see if there's any of these that fit the style, the design, getting that header in there, the subheader in there. There's a lot of different designs here. Ooh, I was waiting on that sneeze. Excuse me and bless me. All right, so you can see all different types of designs. I love the ice cream one. That's a really good one. But if you don't see something here, you can flip around and find something else. There's like pre-made banners. The longest time this takes is to find the pre-made banners that you really want to work with. So we keep looking, keep looking, keep looking. So those are all the pre-made banners, right? And then below that, I keep scrolling. We'll get beyond it in just a second. There's like 100 of them. Seriously, a whole lot of them. They've added a lot since the last time I looked too. Oh, that's a neat one right there. That's a cool one right there. But they're even categorized. So like this is for pets. This one's for doctors, nutritionists. So you can see that they've really done a great job of creating some very, very professional banners and making sure that they're adhering to that idea of the H1 for the header banner, the big text, and then usually that's like a H2 and then a smaller like H5 or something like that. So let's, oh, there we go. So now we've got a blocks area, so we can actually go to this area and see separate blocks and add those in if we want to. Remember, you've got the freedom to change the colors, the design, anything you want to. You're just kind of looking at the content. Is this the content that I want to add to my website? And you can change colors as much as you want to. But you want to pick something that's close to the design that you want, so you have to change the least amount of items. Okay, so scroll down some more. Let's see, we've got a call to action. So I'm going to click on that and we'll take a look at some of those. So here we've got several different versions of call to actions. And we've got, there's a yellow right there. So let's pull that in because that kind of goes with the yellow design of this. So I'm going to click that. And it's put that in there just like that. And I could do a little bit of editing to kind of maybe move things up a little bit. And then if I did go with this, I would probably make the decision to either go with that orange color for this other button and make all of my buttons consistently the same color, because that's another important thing you need to do is make sure your buttons are consistent all the way throughout your page. And to do that, I just click on the button itself and go into the settings for the button, and where it says background, there's that color right there. You click on it and click and drag over that color and copy it, and then come back up here and change this one to the same color. And so now I've got more consistent colors with my buttons, and I can continue to kind of edit and change things up a little bit. I can also change the size of this panel, so I can shrink it up a little bit, just like that. There we go. And we can continue to add panels. So I can look at some more panels, and we'll look at maybe contents. So I'll take a look at what contents we have available. See, this one looks great, so I'm going to click on it, and that throws it to the bottom. And I may want to actually move that up ahead of this panel. So to do that, I click on the panel, click the up button, and so now that's right underneath this one. I can shorten my panel a little bit. There we go. And you can see how this is starting to shape up into a design that I can start to kind of flow with and just pick out the panels that look good. And then I can change the items inside the panel and put the content in there. Let me go ahead and add a few more panels. We've got panels and we've got some more contents. How about features? So if we want to talk about features of a product, there's one with an image on it. So I can click on that panel and it drops it down to the bottom. And remember, this image I can change to any image. I don't keep that image. That's just an image placeholder. So I can change that image. I can put the features or benefits or change the wording however I want to. So now I've got a neat area for features of my product. And then if I scroll down some more, there's even more features. You can see here's an image with features on each side. So there's a lot of different designs you can use just for the features area. Okay. So now let's talk about statistics. There's a really neat area, I think, in contents. So I'm going to scroll down and see if I can find the statistics in contents. There's so much in here. Let's see, right here. So I can click here, add this panel, and now I've got an area where I can put some statistics in there. Okay. So just change the content up a little bit, add the numbers that I want to add in there, and then I'm good to go. So that is another great panel to pull in and start working with. And now let's say that I want to do some testimonials. So I'm going to collapse this category. So we go to the top of it, so in contents. And I'm going to go to testimonials. And when I click that, I scroll down. And there's lots of different panels for testimonials that are different designs. The one I liked is, I think, one of the last ones on here, this one right here. So if I click that, it's going to put it on the bottom. And once it's put on the bottom, there it is right there. You can change the color background to anything you want to change it to. You can change these items, the pictures, the name of the person, the quote itself. You can change this area. And then let's say we're getting close to the end, so maybe we want to put some pricing on there. So let's talk about pricing tables. So I click pricing tables, and there's a bunch of different designs for pricing tables, and all of these you can change the colors, designs, whatever you want. So pick something that's close to what you want and then change the colors to match your website. So to me, this one I really like a lot. So I'm going to click it, but it's that purple color, and I definitely don't want purple. So once it's added to my page, I can actually click on there and just go to background. And let's say for the background, here's the color right here. So I can click on it and let's change it to maybe a yellowish color. I don't know if that'll work, but we can try it. So I'll do a light yellow, and make sure I'm doing that there. and I'll remove the image. And there's that light yellow. I think I'd probably go with maybe a brown. So let me see if I can get to a brown. Almost, maybe, kind of, sort of. You'd have to play with it a little bit. But you can see that you've got full capability of changing the colors, manipulating the colors, manipulating the content. The idea is pull in the banners that are going to work for you on the design of the website, and then start changing and editing and making it yours with your own content and your own colors that you want and the design you want for your website. So now we've got pricing on there. The last thing that I want to put on there is I want to add panels, and I would do a footer. So let me find my footers. So I'll collapse that area right there, and there's my footers. And I've got several different pre-made footers here. I guess I'll go with the black for now. So I'll click on it, and just one click, it adds it to my website. And then there, I can actually change the colors to match whatever I want, change the content. If I want to do a newsletter subscription, I can actually configure that here. And then once you've got everything in there, then the real work begins, which is actually putting the content in and working with the colors to make the colors work for you throughout the page. So that is actually how easy it is to make a full-blown website or sales page using Cheetah. Very, very easy to do. It's just a matter of taking the time to configure the design itself with the colors and everything. And if I go to preview, I can actually take a look at what this is looking like so far. So you guys saw, all I did was pull in some panels, and I was like, okay, I think this might look okay. I think this might look okay. This might look okay. And so now I'm going to go through and just scroll down, and you can kind of see the design that I'm getting and the kind of look that I'm getting. Not necessarily the colors, just what are the panels that I'm going to work with first to put the content in. And I can change colors and I can change fonts and stuff like that. But the first order of the day is to get the design and flow of the page first. So you can see that that part is actually very, very easy. And now I can go in and actually start changing the content and stuff like that. So I'm going to stop sharing, and I'm going to ask you guys, what do you think about Cheetah and the ability to pull those panels, those pre-made panels in to be able to create the entire sales page? What do you think? Crazy? Got a thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Yeah. Sorry, Tabaro. What were you saying?
Yeah. My question is, I was looking for a panel to start for my website that was just for painting company, but I couldn't find anything like that.
So they may not have one yet, and there's not really a way to search except to just go scroll, 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 scroll.
Is there a way I can take one from Pixel Perfect? Because I saw some of them there. And
no, you can't pull it in from Pixel Perfect, but it is as simple as just creating a blank panel and then pulling in whatever you want. And I'm going to show you another neat trick that I want you to watch, because this is cool.
If he wanted to use
that I think you'll be excited about. Let me share my screen real quick. Let's say
if
that
he wanted to use the Pixel
create
Perfect images, he could if he saw a Pixel Perfect painter website, he could screenshot those images and pull it in to his Cheetah, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you screenshot it, that is one way. Yes. So you can screenshot it, and I'm going to go back to my editor. Let's say that you found the Pixel Perfect banner that you really liked. So you could go into the live version and screenshot the entire banner the way it is, the way you like it. And then you can go in and I'm going to show you add panel and then blank panel. So it's going to put a blank panel at the bottom of my website. It's completely blank. And then you can take that image that you got from Pixel Perfect and you can click on there, and as the background, you can add that image that you captured and click change image and add it to your digital file repository and put it in there as the background image. So let's say this is the one. So I'm going to click on it and then click save. And it will add that image in as the background. And then you can go from there. So that's really the only way that you could pull that in from Pixel Perfect.
That's what I was planning on doing with my websites that I have in Pixel Perfect.
Okay, but when you take a screenshot, is there a button in Builderall that takes a screenshot, or it's a different software?
I just
Probably
use,
built into your computer.
yeah, on my computer, I have a PC, Windows, and Windows has a clipping tool that you can use to do that.
Okay.
Okay.
Best friend.
Yeah, that's one way you can do it. Absolutely. All right. Any other questions or comments, you guys? I think I hear somebody.
That's Karen.
Karen,
Hi.
go ahead. Hi.
How you been?
I've been fine. I've been missing you. How have you been?
Yeah, I've been all over the place and missing everybody, so I'm glad to be here. I finally got in. I'm very excited. I've been trying for a couple weeks, so I got here.
Yay.
You had suggested in another video that we were on, or another training that we were on, that there was a tool in our Google or on our Chrome extension that would
Yes.
let us capture all the pictures out of a site. Could
That-
you be magicianly putting it in there for us?
Yeah. I'll put it into the chat for you guys. Hold on just a second. Let me put it in there. Let me
making
work
up
my
words
magic.
yeah, that's it. I know you and your wand.
I can't remember. I think it's Gallerify with the E, Gallerer. Oops, I spelled it wrong. Gallerify. I think that's the name of it. If you go to the Google Chrome web store and type that in the search, there is a Chrome extension that you can install that will allow you to screen capture, just like the PC tool, just like the Mac tool, because Mac has a screen capture as well. This one actually allows you to capture an area, capture the entire page. Oh, sorry, it's the wrong tool. Gallerify lets you capture the images. So if you go to a website that has images and you want to pull those images off, Gallerify will pull up every single image that's on that page and let you download it. And you can download all of them at once or a single image at a time. And it's
Shelly,
a great
you're
tool
like
to
a
use.
marketing Batman.
Yeah, this is a great
You got
tool
all the
to use.
tools.
It's great because in Pixel Perfect, when you're working with images, these are Builderall images. So you can use them in Cheetah. So if you need an image, just go to the preview of the web page and then pull up Gallerify, and it will pull up all the images on that preview. And then you can actually pull any of the images that you want. And this is great because they've got icons on there. They've got little bitty, little things that you're like, oh, I need those. Those are great. And you can't figure out how to get them off to be able to do that. Gallerify will let you do that. Very good tool.
It's wonderful.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
So the other part of my question, because that came up afterward, when there's a picture behind and then the boxes or the panels go over the picture, I love that effect, and I do not know the technical term for it. I know you do. Is there a way to do that in Cheetah yet?
Yes, but it gets kind of messed up a little bit when you go to the mobile view. So what I would do is if you've got
Play with the opacity.
Well, it's a color overlay is what it is. So if you've got a picture that is like deep blues and your website is deep reds and you really want the reds there, you don't want the blues because it clashes with everything. You can take an image and actually do a color overlay and completely change the color of that picture and make it match your website. But it takes you putting the color over it and then doing a transparency layer of that color so that the picture comes through, but the red is there that shows instead of the blue. And that was actually easily done in Pixel Perfect, but not so easily done yet in Builderall. So what you can do is you can use our photo studio inside of the dashboard, and you can actually take any picture and color overlay it and then set the transparency. So check that out. It is great. If you haven't upgraded yet, upgrade so you can get just the photo studio alone is worth the money that you would pay for whatever plan it is in Builderall, because you can do so many things. The photo studio, you can create 3D images. You can it's just like unlimited, and that ability to take an image and color overlay it and then match whatever you're doing in your website is absolutely huge. I'll show you an
Are there
example.
detailed tutorials of the photo studio on YouTube?
Yeah, I've got several. If you'll just go to the Builderall USA YouTube channel and type in Photo Studio, there's several tutorials on it. But I was going to show you, but I'm not sure I could find it. Yeah, we'll find it. Let me share my screen, and I will find one of the color overlays I did that was actually really, really cool. So I'm going to go move you guys out of the way a second.
Can you make the panels transparent yet?
Yeah, you can.
So if you put just a picture in the background and then put a panel on top and made it a certain color and then made it transparent, that would be like similar to the effect she's talking about too, right?
Yeah. For some reason my thing is not showing. There we go. All right, now we're gonna find it. Now we're cooking with gas, you guys. Let me go to graphics and share image. So this is an example of a color overlay. So this particular picture here was not purple. It was way blue, just not gonna match anything I was doing on my website. So I could take it and just put purple over it and do a transparency so that the image comes through, but the purple is there. And that completely changed the dynamics of that picture. So then I could make it fit with what I was doing in my website. So it's a color overlay, and you can do that in the photo studio now. So check that out. It's a fabulous tool to use and lets you do a lot of neat stuff with pictures that cost a lot of money on other stuff, on other builders and other tools, but we've got it on Builderall. And let me use that as a reminder now that if you're not in Builderall already, then I invite you to definitely jump into Builderall, jump on that free website plan and start playing. If you have not upgraded yet, I would like to invite you to upgrade. And I'm one of those teetotalers, as in I went all the way to the $69.90 level. And that's because that's every tool that Builderall has. So that creates for me a situation where I can choose any direction I want to go with Builderall. So I want to choose you. If you do want to upgrade, grab that $69.90 plan. You'll get every single tool that Builderall has, and you can just create to your heart's content on all these amazing tools that we have in Builderall. Now, before I go, I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording, and then we'll spend some time together and have a after party. You can ask me some more questions. So let me go ahead and stop the recording there, and then I'll let you
Just want to say happy MLK Day, everybody. Happy Martin Luther King Day, everybody.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right,
Happy Martin
I'm
Luther
going to stop
King Day.
recording. And
I
then
just have a quick question.
yeah, hold on just a second.